This documentary concerns you. Yes, you who is watching this video now. Because most likely, as I speak to you, you are using at least one of our products. Injections, tablets, capsules, solutions, syrups, patches, aerosols. You may even have already been transplanted with a heart, a kidney, a vertebra, a liver, a piece of colon, and whether you are poor or rich, woman or man, you are all inhabited by the fear of disease, the fear of suffering, the fear of aging, the fear of dying. And it's this fear that makes you our creatures. I took advantage of your fear to develop the Baglelik, this miracle drug, a single injection of which can regulate your diabetes for life as a replacement for daily injections and treatments. And yet, I was mistakenly dubbed the most hated man alive because I built my single injection for $1.5 million. And you sent me to jail because someone has to pay. And I paid for others. But your life, which represents in your eyes the most precious good, isn't worth the price of my injection? After all, these prices are practiced on the market by other laboratories. Check yourself. The Ravicti for $700,000, the Blincyto for $750,000, the Brinera for $750,000, the Folotin for $840,000, the Laxturma for $850,000, the Mialet for $930,000, the Kimtrack for $1 million, the Danielsa for $1 million, the Zokinvi for $1 million, the Zolgensma for $2 million. So I don't see why an injection costing $1.5 million should surprise you or rouse your reprobation. To my knowledge, we are indeed in a liberal system, of which one of the founding principles is the maximization of profit, and where everyone has total freedom in terms of consumption. And if you want to save your money, frankly, you just don't get sick. You eat junk food, sugar, fat, all your life, and you want our remedies for free? You are slouching in front of your televisions all the time, not doing any physical activity, and you want to have our remedies for free? You don't stop smoking despite knowing the consequences, and you want our remedies for free? You don't keep getting drunk at every opportunity, and you want our remedies for free? You do everything to pollute the water you drink, the air you breathe, and you want our remedies for free? Honestly, it's you that should have been locked up, not me. But sooner or later, you will do me justice as your new prophet. And if the prices are high, there are objective reasons. First, the average development cost of a therapeutic molecule is around $1 billion. It can take 12 years for a molecule of therapeutic interest to become a real medicine. And the race for drug begins in a basic research laboratory to decipher the mechanism of a disease. The next step is to carry out an exploratory research, the purpose of which is to find practical applications for the discoveries of the basic research in order to propose a drug candidate. On this candidate are created biotechnology companies, most of which fail, and those who succeed still have a long way to go. They must move on to a preclinical phase, which allows a molecule to be evaluated on cells in culture and on animals. The clinical phase, on the other hand, allows the molecule to be tested on healthy people. But at some point, the drug mafia buys us out because only they have the resources to deal with the international market. And if finally the drug proves to be safe and effective, it can take several years in some cases to obtain a marketing authorization. Even worse, the patent resulting from so many efforts falls into the public domain after 20 years in the hands of generic laboratories for free. In this chain, the most innovative link is us, the biotechs. The drug mafia is just speculating financially, not doing research. In this chain, the most fragile link is us, the biotechs, and it's we who are sacrificed on the altar of money. My mistake was refusing to sell my business to a drug mafia who understood its full potential. My fault is to have been too ambitious and not having understood that the drug mafia cannot tolerate outsiders. In a market estimated at $1.3 trillion in 2020, 5 times France's budget, 5 groups representing a quarter of the global market. I am talking to you about the third industry in the world, after the banking industry and the oil industry. And of course, what had to happen happened. A blind justice has built against me, from scratch, a file of supposed side effects that have resulted in imaginary deaths and who sent me to prison, despite the transfer of all my rights on the Baglalik to mafia drug, which is now sold under another name with a higher price, and which magically has no more side effects. Prison rather than a justice. Because the real prison is that of the brain. If you are free in your head, no matter they chain you, you will fly high. You will fly far. Want to know the whole truth about the drug mafia? First, many of the drugs don't cure. You recover spontaneously. The placebo effect, you know? If your belief in a product is high, even without any therapeutic efficacy, your immune system automatically becomes more efficient. You then heal by belief. Understand well, you are both the pathology, but you are also the cure. Because for 7 million years, nature has been able to develop an immune system of a phenomenal power and able to deal with a wide variety of diseases. But the strength of the mafia drug is to make you stop counting on this system and believe in their drugs. You get sick when you lose faith in yourself. Moreover, based on the principle that every healthy person is an unwitting sick person, the drug mafia force you to overdiagnosis, over-treatments, over-analysis, over-radiographies, and over-medical cares. In the United States today, more than 40% of 60-year-old adults take at least 5 prescription medications, 3 times what it was 2 decades ago. And it's not uncommon for patients to take up to 25 different medications per day, because it suits the drug mafia. The Baglalic, my miracle diabetes injection, has been accused of having side effects. I am going to tell you about the drugs that make you really sick. The Mediator is an appetite suppressant for overweight diabetes, but it can cause severe heart valve damage and fatal pulmonary hypertension. 1,000 to 2,000 deaths could be attributed to it. The Distilbent is prescribed against miscarriages, but it has been the cause of numerous genital anomalies, sterility, and increase of certain childhood cancers in utero. Sequels that would continue into the 3rd generation. The Biotech is an anti-inflammatory prescribed for pain related to joint disease. It has, according to the Food and Drug Administration, caused 160,000 heart attacks and strokes and 40,000 deaths only in the United States, but it will have brought in $2.5 billion every year. The Depakine is a drug prescribed to treat epilepsy, but the sodium valproate it contains can cause serious consequences in pregnant women, including malformations, intellectual retardation, or cases of autism in newborns. Several generations has used Johnson & Johnson famous talc, which is said to have contained asbestos. And the list is endless. And despite the lawsuits and the fines, the drug mafia doesn't stop making billions thanks to lobbying. For those who don't know, pharmaceutical lobbying is a set of measures implemented by the drug mafia to influence public health decisions in order to increase drug purchases. More than 7 billion euros were paid from 2017 to 2019 by the drug mafia to health professionals in 11 European countries. Some doctors would have received up $200,000 per year from the laboratories in the form of various gifts. These lobbying activities take the form of communication campaigns, professional trainings, conferences often intended to influence health actors. All this with the complicity of certain insurance companies which manage to orient reimbursement towards the most expensive drugs to the detriment of generic drugs. Despite everything, we must recognize that the drug mafia has succeeded. Realize 80% of drugs are useless, and yet the consumption of drugs has never been greater. The drug mafia has succeeded in turning several doctors and scientists, having taken the Hippocratical oath, into mere pharmaceutical dealers. The drug mafia has succeeded in making several rulers their clerks, their spokesperson, and their devil's advocate. The drug mafia won, because bastards always win.